In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to create the upper die outer ring for the button maker that you make in Intro to Engineering. I'm going to begin, let's see if I can zoom in here. I'm going to begin by creating this ring part. Now I'm given a cutaway view, so that's a pretty safe bet that I'm going to be using that to create a revolve. I'm not going to worry about this hole here, so this is probably a more accurate thing. One thing to keep in mind is that this radius here actually revolves around and is this radius on this side, and the same thing with this chamfer. So I'm going to begin by creating this shape based off of an axis right here. Now I'm in Inventor in a new part file, and I'm going to create a new sketch. And let's follow the same basic layout as this model here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the YZ plane. When I click on that, I need to draw a line that's going to be my axis line, because this object that I am building is actually, when I revolve it, it's going to be revolved around the center of this. Now, how far away is this thing? Well, let's start by making this basic shape here. So I've got, I'm just going to start by kind of just roughing it out. So if that's the center of my axis, I'm going to draw it down here a little bit. There's an outer portion, and I'm not even worrying about any of the dimensions or any of the fillets or anything yet. I'm just trying to get the basic overall shape of it down, and then I can come in and give it more detail. I am making sure that all of my lines are perpendicular to each other and that it closes when it ends. Now, how far away is the center of the axis from the bottom edge of this part? Well, I know that because I'm told what the overall diameter of this is. If the diameter is 3.0625, then the distance from the center to the end has to be half of that. So if I come back into Inventor and I do from here to here, I'm going to say 3.0625 divided by 2. I can do the math right into my dimensions here. So 1.531, probably with a little extra after that, is the correct dimension. Now my other dimensions, I'm told I'm just basing it off of these numbers here, so we'll start with just doing all of these. And so I'm told that this is 0.5. Oops, maybe I'll do the other side first so it doesn't goof that up. Let's see, so the overall on this side is 0.406, so from here to here is 0.406. Now I can do this one as 0.5 and it won't goof it up. The distance from here to here is 0.209 or 0.219. The overall width is 0.75. And the width of this smaller section is 0.572. And the width of this little section here is 0.135. Now I'm also given a little bit of extra information about the radius of this fillet and probably this one too, and then the chamfer here, but remember that those are flipped when we revolve it around on the other side. So it's actually, the fillet here is 0.031, and that would be that corner and this corner. And then the chamfer, which is hidden inside of the fillet, the chamfer we're given distance and angle, so I'm going to choose distance and angle here. It's 0.031 with an angle of 45, and that is between those. And so that should be correct. Let's go ahead and finish the sketch, and now I'm going to revolve it around this point. So I'll choose revolve. It's that profile is the one I want. Make sure that all of the red arrows mean that there's information it still needs. I need all the red arrows to be white arrows. My axis is going to be that line, and when I click OK, that should revolve it around that. Now I would actually consider that to be the easy part of this. The more difficult part is going to create these two extensions off of the edge here. We know that one is a 10-degree angle from directly above, and the other one is 33 degrees from that. If I create one of them, I can use the circular pattern to create the other one. And I think what I'm going to do to create this first one is to do a revolve again. So I'm going to draw half of this and then revolve it and then circular pattern it. So the first step is to get this 10-degree angle correct. So I'm going to come back here, go ahead and draw it I'm also told that it's 0.286 inches from the edge is the center of it. So I am going to create a work plane, drag it in. I'm dragging it the other way, so I guess I'm going to have to go negative 0.286, which I'm assuming is the center of this portion here. And now I can create a new sketch on that work plane. So I can click on this and create sketch. Now I can press F7 to cut it away so that I'm looking at just the section view of that. And I'm going to create some guidelines to start here from the center. So I've got my vertical line, and then I'm going to use L again to create another line. And when I dimension between two lines that are not parallel, I'll get an angle, and this is supposed to be a 10-degree angle. So that tells me what the angle of this should be off of that. And I think if I just trim this original one off, and I'll probably fix this too so that it doesn't move. So I use my fix constraint to fix that. Now I'm going to offset this line to create the other one. And this is, I'm not given a lot of information about this, but I am told that the diameter of the kind of rounded surface on top is 0.156. And because that meets it right in the middle, I assume that that means that this is half of 0.156, unless I'm given that information somewhere else. Okay, so let's do that. Let's make that offset half of 0.156 divided by 2. And I'm also told that the height from the center of this circle to the center of the fillet on the top is 2 inches. So let's make sure we've got that too. So from the top here to here, actually I'll just click on it twice. So if I click on it once with the dimension tool and then I click on it again, it should give me an angled dimension, which I can now specify as exactly 2. Alright, I've changed my mind a little bit. So I know that the overall height of this thing is 2 inches plus half of this diameter, which should get me from the very center of this circle to the top of this arc at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to say that this should be 2.078, and that'll get me to the correct top radius. And then I'm going to build a parallel line, or a perpendicular line, to this other one. Now I'm just going to, I'll go ahead and trim this extra bit here. I'm just going to use a fillet that's half of 0.156. So I'm going to do 0.156 divided by 2 and fillet the top of this. And that should give me the half that I need. And then I don't want it to fillet, or when I do the revolve, I don't want it to be from all the way down here. So I'm probably going to have to just draw a line here maybe. I'll just draw another line across here and trim all of this stuff. And now, hopefully I should be able to revolve this around its own central axis. So I'll choose revolve. It found the profile already. I'm going to revolve it around that axis. And when I click OK, that should be, oops, let me choose a different angle here. That's fun to work with this. I'm going to go ahead and right click on my view cube and set that current view as home. So when I press F6 again, it'll do it. So now I should be able to create that other one that is 23 plus 10 degrees away from that same center point using a circular pattern. So I'm going to choose a circular pattern. I'm going to choose this profile, that second revolution I made. The rotation axis is going to be the same. I can just choose any of these circle parts. They all have the same axis. And I say I only want 2. And I want it to be 33 degrees away. And now when I click OK, that should give me my second one at the correct angle. Now I'm going to right click on my work plane over here in the browser and turn the visibility off. You don't want to delete a work plane because it'll delete everything associated with it. And the last part of this is I have just 3 holes here that are also on that same vertical plane. The first one, I'm going to just make one of them using the hole feature and then do a circular pattern for that too. So once again, I'm going to come here. I'll go ahead and draw that vertical line to base this off of. I have a point I'm just going to use the point tool, and it looks like, well, I'll just go ahead and put the measurement in. I'm just going to put it somewhere where it's not on a line already so that it doesn't constrain it accidentally. And the distance from the center to the edge here, I am told, is 1.3125. If I come here and do 1.3125, that should put it in the right location. Now I'll finish the sketch and choose hole, which should find just the one existing hole. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this hole has some features here that I need to make sure I do. So it has, it's not a through wall, it's a distance. It ends before it goes all the way through. It's a blind hole. It has a depth of 0.406 and a diameter of 0.25. And when I click OK, that should do that. And then the last part of this is I need to have 3 of them evenly spaced. So I'm going to do another circular pattern. When I'm choosing features for the circular pattern, I can either click right on the feature itself or on where the feature is in the browser. So I can choose this hole here too. The rotation axis, once again, any of these will do because they all share the same central axis. So I'll click on that one. I only want 3, and it looks like they're evenly spaced. They're all 120 degrees away from each other, as I'm told right here. So I can just do an even spacing of 3 across, click OK, and it'll repeat all 3 of those there. So that should be everything I need to create this upper die outer ring. If I flip it around, it should look pretty similar. It looks like I may have missed a fillet or the chamfer. Maybe that chamfer. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. So it should be good to go. That is the way to make the upper die outer ring.